good afternoon, Manchester, New Hampshire, and all the surrounding areas. I do have my mask right here for the lady who was all upset with me not wearing the mask, okay? But I do have my friend John Hopwood that's going to come back on with me for a little while and see how it's going. I got a phone call I'm going to be making to my friend George Lambert. And we're just going to have a fun day. People feel free to call in, express how you feel, express about the virus, especially any of the political agenda. As long as you're not defaming someone, and as long as you can talk nicely without slamming everybody. Okay? I listened to a few people down at the, from the Manchester Alderman meeting, and I was so discouraged listening to some of those people. You know, if you don't like the person that's in office, remember this. You can vote them out. You know, that's your choice. You can vote them all the way out the door, or you can re-elect them and continue to play havoc with them, or just give you guys something more to do. Actually, folks, I have become more aware of the virus, COVID-19 virus that's going on, because unfortunately, my son, my daughter-in-law, and my granddaughter got it, okay? And I got to tell you, they were using every precaution. They were using the gloves, they were using the masks, they were using the hand wash, everything else. So it doesn't, you know, and then my son went to work one day, and he come back and he found out he had it. Then there's some, you know, then they've been getting plagued by a lady who called 5 times today to let my daughter-in-law know that she had it. She already knew she had it, but it was a very annoying 5 times. Once a day is fine. That way if you have any questions or whatever, you know. But all you people out there who have the virus, we're going to continue to pray for you. We're going to continue to pray for the country. We're going to know that we are going to overcome this adversity. Next week, I am honored to have Don Baldock, who is running for U.S. Senate against Gene Shaheen. So I'm excited about him coming on for 4 to 5. I'm filling up my my date book, even though it's only one at a time. And you know what? That's okay. As long as we let ourselves be presentable, and as long as we say, okay, are we being recorded? Are you okay? Yeah. Okay. And as long as we can do it the right way. People are starting to come to my office, but I always ensure when they come down to my office, we sit on the porch and we wear a mask. I am realizing how important it is. But I'm alone here at the studio right now, and I clean everything up before I leave. I hope Barb calls in again. That was a great conversation I had with her. One of the things that I'm looking at, we are going to get over this. We are going to defeat this virus. The sad part is there's going to be another virus coming with another name, and they're going to say it's even worse. No virus can be any worse than the other. Ebola was pretty bad. The AIDS epidemic was bad. All these diseases are just coming under different names. But remember this. As long as you take care of yourself, and you can go in, with a happy attitude, saying, "This is who I am. I am truly going to take care of myself." And what saddens me is, I know we're not required to wear a mask, but when I go grocery shopping, I do see a lot of the elderly people not wearing masks. I think it's more dangerous for people in my age to not wear not wear a mask than it is for the young. And I'm not saying that the younger generation can't get it either, because they can. We have to respect each other's space. We have to remember that we have to respect each other's space, because that's so important. Do I miss talking with a lot of people? Yeah, because I'm a gibber gabber. When I do my walk That's why I choose to go between 5 and 6 because there's hardly anybody there. The only thing that saddens me is on the dog poopy.
Well, I got to tell you, I took a COVID-19 test, so I haven't got my results yet. It was probably just asthma.
Okay.
So I just wanted to tell you, I don't think I have it.
Now, come on in. You got your mask on anyway, John.
Yeah, I have it on my show, too.
Yeah. Well, I had a lady really bitch me out last week. And I didn't have it on, you know.
Well, it doesn't hurt.
No. My dear friend John Hopwood is on today. John and I.
Oh, we're online.
Yeah, John and I have a lot of the same messages, don't you think, John?
Yes.
You know, and you know my feeling is, John. You want to introduce yourself, John?
I'm afraid to take my hat off. The baldness might blind you.
Oh, welcome to the club.
You've got some hair.
Yeah.
I'm John Hopwood, born in Goffstown, but because my mother's obstetrician was up at what was Moore County Hospital then, no longer here. So
Yeah.
everybody in my family was born in Manchester except for me.
Yeah.
But
I actually went, and that's what I was actually going to call it Grasmere, right?
it is Grassmere. That actually is Grassmere.
I was
the
actually
village.
going to go to school there
Really?
to get my LPN license. Then they closed down.
I guess everything got
So I
closed.
ended up going to California. But, John, what do you think about it? Do you think we're finally going to get this under control?
I don't know.
I do.
It's already 93,000 yesterday. 1,500 people are dying in the United States every year, which the CDC model from 6 weeks ago said 3,000. And nobody really knows the numbers.
No.
You know, my sister, who's a nutritionist, said, why bother to take a test? They're not reliable at all.
No, they're not. Well, my son had the flu shot.
I do too every
Yeah.
year.
And they claim that the flu shot can mix up your thing. My son had the disease on COVID-19.
Oh, he did?
Yes. And then he got pneumonia with it, so he's doing much, much better. They got him really,
Great.
my daughter-in-law. But if it's so long, 3 months without my daughter-in-law coming over, you know, and I'm used to having her come over quite often.
Right.
So, John, are you eating healthy through this?
Yes. One of the reasons I got the COVID test was because the New Hampshire just launched it. You go up to a parking lot next to the bus stop in Concord, and they're medics. I think they're National Guard, but in their Army uniforms, and they take this. It's like a long Q-tip. Oh well, they put it in each nostril for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
I've had worse, more painful things happen. It wasn't that bad, but it was unusual. But it was so quick too.
And that's what my son said too.
So why not go? Because I didn't want to come to the studio last week because how if I did? Because I was out of breath. Or even when I was using a CPAP machine, for the first time I was having difficulty. But I'm a gardener. I'm out, 8 hours gardening, and it was asthma. And I went to my allergist on Friday, got the test Thursday, saw the allergist Friday. She gave me a new medicine for asthma, and I wouldn't have gone now. But when you have people in your family that are almost 70 years old, you've got to be careful.
Yeah.
That's why I always get the flu shot. Because I used to be a caregiver for 2 parents who would be in their 90s now.
See, I won't do the flu shot because of what's happening now. And I want to have
Yeah.
the flu shot get that corona disease quicker.
Well, I
Or it
don't.
mixes up with the confusing. But,
Yeah, nobody even knows.
No.
That's what's so odd about stuff.
and they don't know if you can have a reoccurrence of it.
Right. And then you look at the statistics. It's. I would rather err on caution, but
Oh, absolutely. We don't go anywhere. I do my.
I never did anyway.
No,
I have no
yeah,
money.
No. No, there you go. I mean, either. But then I go, when I do my morning walks, but I do it at between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll go out in the afternoon. And I get panicky.
Really?
I've never been this panicky. A dog will come by and all of a sudden I'm hanging onto the walls or people walking by and breathing,
Well, it is a time of great anxiety.
And I never used to be that way, And that's the whole thing, And, but folks, remember this. We can heal. This country can heal.
You just have to be responsible.
Right.
You have to be balanced too, because you can't have the economy being disintegrate,
Yeah. Yeah.
us back to Stone Ages.
No.
But
But they were healthier back in them days.
yeah, but you died at 40.
Welcome to North Community Corner.
Hi, how are you? I was just calling to say that it was good to see your face again and that I hope you're staying safe.
Oh, I am. Thank you. I am doing my best to stay safe. And how are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Hanging in there, dealing with the pandemic like everybody else, with
Oh,
the
yeah.
facial masks and the excessive hand washing.
Yeah. Can never do enough hand washing, and all that, too.
Nope,
No,
not at all.
no, And I'm glad to be back. It's, my third week now, and when the last 3 months we were not on, it was horrible for me. But now, folks, if you want, I do a live out of my office, North Community Show Corner on Facebook, and then I do a YouTube. And so I'm keeping myself busy. That's one good thing about not being able to come to the studio. I learned how to do it on Facebook and YouTube.
Good.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah. You got a lot of good changes coming for you.
Do you know who this is, my love?
I'm trying to set a voice, but I don't recognize it.
It's Jody. I was calling to say hello.
Oh, Jody, from my friend Jody Scully?
Yes.
Oh, your voice sounds different, Jody, darling.
Does it?
It sounds a lot different. Are you getting lucky or what?
No. It's a good day.
Uh-huh.
The sun's out and life is good.
That's good. How's your younger son doing?
He's going stir crazy with the school lockdown, and he goes to the second toughest school in Mass, and he's doing pretty good. He's staying on top. I'm letting him have a reprieve to go hang out with his older brother occasionally, and his friend.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to keep him busy, but it's kind of hard because everything's restricted. You have no movies open. You have nothing open. There's no golf courses. There's really nothing to do. So the kids are all like bottled in.
I think golf courses are open.
Yeah, the golf courses are starting to open up. Yeah.
Right, but Massachusetts
here
is
where I
on
live.
Yeah.
How's
your oldest
I live
son
in Bass.
doing?
We have different guidelines.
Yeah. How old is how's your oldest son doing?
Nathan has not had any substance whatsoever in his body for a good 5 months now.
All right. That's awesome.
He's locked himself down into his program. He doesn't have half as much anger. His communication flows more easily. He's learning to advocate for himself in a healthy way. And he's taking care of himself.
That is so exciting. Her son, if you don't mind, Jody, her son has been a heavy drug addict for many, many years. And to hear this positive, and it's exciting to me to watch, and he's actually proving me not right. Am I right, Jody?
He proved a lot of us wrong,
And isn't that wonderful?
He's doing good. He's a living miracle.
He sure is. And if he keeps on
hardcore heroin for a long time.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now he can go and talk to other people and tell how he overcame it. And I'm sure it's still going to be an adversity for him for the rest of his life.
He got some health issues because of it, but nothing serious. But he met himself a nice girl out there who really, really cares for him. She genuinely cares for him, not about what he can give financially and all that. She's supported him through his journey, and I really embrace her and I really love her. She's a joy to have around.
Well, that's a good thing. And how's RJ doing?
RJ's doing fabulous. He's pursued his goals. He's doing really well.
And
got a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah, and Jared's doing well too. Jared must be pretty tall by now.
Jared's 6 feet now.
Wow, this is my adopted daughter.
Oh, okay.
From years ago, I first met her when my son and I met her.
I was 19. Nathan was 2.
Right, down here in Manchester.
And Nathan's going to be 32.
Oh my God! Where's the time? Well, my son is going to be at 47, and he's getting better slowly with the virus because he got that. Good. And so, and the one thing I am going to tell you,
made a miraculous cover out.
Right, and that's so wonderful. I am so excited to hear that. And please tell him I say keep on a good trip. Keep doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Go strong.
Yeah. And that's all he's got to do is say no to drugs, and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Is he working, or is he going to therapy, or?
No, he's the program he's in is it's an intense program. They have anger group. They have men that come in from the He actually moved himself from New Hampshire. He's not even in the state to get away from it.
Good.
They have men that come into the program that, tell them how they overcame it. They go to meetings in the community. Well, they haven't been, but they were. They have feelings groups. They're teaching. It's a really structured program. That's what he needed.
And that's so awesome. So it goes to show you folks that my friend Jody here, she'll overcome some of her obstacles. She was also had a problem with drugs, but she overcome that a long time ago. She went to nursing school to become an LPN. And I'm sober now. You can, Jody, I got to tell you, I am so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
For overcoming all these hurdles that you have overcame.
I haven't done nursing in a while. I found it too depressing working with addicts when
Right.
you get attached to them and they die.
Yeah.
I haven't done it.
Well, not only that, well, you can
But
work
I may return back to it.
well,
someday.
I went. What are you doing? Hairdressing? She's a great hairdresser.
That happened to my niece, was a nurse too. You can get combat fatigue.
Yeah.
She was actually in the Army nurse, but
That- yeah.
also but then she went back after she worked for an insurance company helping claims.
Yeah,
But then she went back and now she's at Landstuhl, the big Army hospital in Germany. But she
See,
had to
I-
take time off.
Well, after 32 years of nursing, I said that was enough. But I do a lot more counseling.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people like the field, some people don't.
Yeah.
I found it too depressing, and I was getting. It just wasn't for my forte. But
But the
I'm
main
thinking
thing
about
is,
going into insurance. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah.
yeah, the main thing is you accomplished your goal on becoming an LPN.
Yeah, I
You,
did.
you proved
Who knows?
that you could do
Who
it,
knows where life is?
and all that too. Well, give me a call at home from sometime this week, okay?
Yep.
Okay, we'll talk to
And
you later.
you enjoy the rest of the evening.
And you too. I am so proud of your family. Keep up the good work. You're a good mom.
Thanks.
And remember,
Bye-bye.
you're the winner. Bye-bye. And wait for that lady to call. Oh, I had a lady call me last week, John. You're not wearing a mask. You're spitting all on and on. I mean, she was so irate.
It wasn't our state rep, was it?
No, Barbara called afterwards. You know. Barbara called me afterwards, and we chatted for. She was great to phone call.
I remember several years ago there used to be a woman that called you and said terrible things to you. That was like I first came on your show
Yeah.
once, and she was still doing that. It was like,
Oh yeah,
why? Why?
Yeah.
Why do people do that?
because they don't know anything differently.
Yeah.
I'm going to give a call right here, George. And you know Joyce Lambert?
I
think you
know
were
the
on-
name.
yeah,
I might have met her.
Yeah.
It's that weird time right now
Yeah.
where memory and sounds all
Oh.
seem different out
Yeah.
there. It's like a heightened reality right now.
Yeah. Boy, it was rough at first for the last 2 weeks by myself. Now what do? I dialed it.
You just wait. I can never master that phone, and I've been on 6 years. Only a fraction of what you've been on.
Yeah.
I think you hit it and you wait for the dial tone.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, it says ready. Okay.
And you don't put any one in.
Nope.
Yeah. But like I said, I've had much trouble on that phone.
Gotta hit the
Takes
right
me 2
button.
minutes, yeah.
It's like a woman being stubborn. If he's gonna answer.
That's the other big.
Hello?
Hey George, how you doing?
I'm okay. Who's this?
This is Norm.
It's who?
Norm. Is this 315-2105?
Hi, Norm.
Hi.
I'm still on another call. Can I call you back?
Oh sure, yeah. Call me back later if you want, okay?
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah, bye-bye. But instead of talking negatively about the politicians, there's got to be some good things about them.
I don't know. Norm, I believe somewhat in Hinduism and the concept of Maya, that this is a very powerful dream, but it's not real.
Yeah.
And politics and our politicians, I think, are the absolute proof to the Hindu concept of Maya, because none of this can be real.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. And what Christ say, render unto Caesar. You're not going to find your salvation through politics.
No. One of the things I find very, very interesting is that all these different viruses have been going on for centuries. They all have had
There's
different
been
names.
plagues.
The plague, yeah.
The plague. I read,
The Ebola, the
plague and viruses. There was a great book, Guns, Steel, and Germs, that one of the advantages England had and Western Europeans is because of the trade and being traders and being part of the trade routes all the way from China.
Yeah.
Everything went through the Middle East. That's why so many religions, religions have things in common, because they all went through that bottleneck. That when they went places, even though they were the horrific, plagues and this and that, they had tremendous immune systems, because so many people have been wiped out. So many people had survived. They had this incredible immune system, and it affected history. Because, you come to North America and you wipe out a good deal of the indigenous people who have never had anything. But I guess they gave us either syphilis or gonorrhea to get back, And they took that back to Europe.
Florence Nightingale died of syphilis, so.
That was... Syphilis was so common. Winston Churchill's father, Randolph Churchill, died of syphilis.
Yeah.
Any man or, that would have sex outside of marriage in those days, you're just exposing yourself to it. Yeah. And you'd be dead before you're like 50. Maupassant, the great writers, a lot of the great writers were dead before they were 50 in that era. And who wrote Madame Bovary? Jeez, how can you forget these things? Yeah. Is it being 60 or Flaubert? He died of.
The name of the game is we've got to take care of ourselves.
The era we lived in, you and I, was unusual, and that they didn't have something like this. One of the last novels written by. Come on, Hop. It's like a engine that, remember old cars, if you left it for a while, you're trying to get it started. Philip Roth, who wrote was about a polio summer before World War II, where in Brooklyn, they had to close the swimming pools and everything because people would get polio. Look at FDR.
Well, I was born with polio.
Yeah. And they had the polio vaccine. It was only in the late 50s and early 60s. Yeah. And there's a good body of research because that was incubated in monkey kidneys. We all have SIV40, which is a precursor to simian AIDS, and some people say to even AIDS. And certain cancers. The only one that's been absolutely linked to is mesothelioma. Mm-hmm. It's the one that they're always advertising on TV for asbestos, but inside the cancers, they have the DNA from SIV40 because, this is not unusual in historical terms. In my parents' lifetime, this wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
When people got polio, we had a guy, Jimmy, when I was a kid, he was crippled from polio, but we're not supposed to use that word, disabled, or differently abled, but he could drag himself along, and he had a little Cushman three-wheeler, and he would deliver vegetables. Yeah. And my mother would always look at him with like...
Was this a guy that used to be out here in Manchester?
Oh, yeah, Jimmy.
I used to buy 60s. Vegetables off of him.
Oh, yeah, he'd go all over the city, and people would buy it, and it was always a warning to people like my mother. If my mother saw me looking at a comic book at a store, she'd... because of the thing in the 50s, the seduction of the innocent, comic books are evil. But the big bugaboo of third generation was polio.
Do you know that my understanding is when this guy passed away, he was worth a very lot of money.
He probably squirreled the money away.
Yeah, There was a guy in Springfield, New Hampshire, where I grew up, and everybody felt sorry for him. They gave him money. They would go and then fix his house up, then cook meals and stuff like that. When he died, they went through the stove, the wall, and the mattresses, and found over $500,000 in his house. And he froze to death.
Yeah.
And that happens. You know? Folks, one of the things I gotta say is, yeah, I hope that everybody staying home like they should be. I hope they are really using it as quality time with their family.
Well, you're kind of forced to.
Instead of hiding on the internet, the computer, and all that. I've been saying, and Scott can tell you, I've been saying right along that we're going to have more and more diseases, and this isn't the beginning, and not even the end.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at in November.
Right, it's September through November. We're supposed to be like hard hit.
Yeah.
Probably starting in September.
Yeah.
Because
The hardest is going to be in November.
Because flu killed 59,000 people between October and March 14th, the beginning of October, which was a lot, but that's not unusual because flu does kill a lot of people. But you have a country with 300
Well, how many
people.
abortions are killed all the innocent babies?
Well, I don't see it that way, Norm, because your soul is immortal and it gets reborn.
Yeah.
So,
but I'm just saying,
I'm one of those. Caesar was fascinated by the ancient Britons because they believed in immediate reincarnation, so they fought right to the death, along with their women, stark naked and painted blue. So he used them as his shock troops.
Oh, I believe you're reincarnated. You're an old soul.
I believe
that.
that.
I'm an old soul that's been there,
So when I think of a soul's indestructible.
Oh, the soul has already left.
Yeah.
And what's happening when they do the abortion stuff, I truly believe that the spirit has already left and gone to the other side because they knew it was going to happen.
You can't destroy it.
And so what they're doing is they're cleaning out the waste matter that's inside. A lot of the times I will tell people that I really believe that had they maybe carried their child to full birth, that could have been mentally disabled, and
right.
could have been all this other stuff.
Well, isn't a third of all pregnancies end in miscarriage at either early stage because there are defects or whatever?
Yeah.
But I just don't think of it that way because I believe the soul's immortal.
Oh, I do too. I think it really is. But I think one of this is just, we had my mother, my real mother, I often wonder, would she had it been legal for her to abort me? Would she have done it? And I'd like to think, I hope not, because you and I are here to make other people miserable. That's the fun part.
I've done a great job at that.
Me too.
But as my father told me, who'd have been 94, it's today's my friend Lisa's birthday. My mother's the 27th. All these women in my life, it's like people bunch up, are in May. My mother's May 27th, and then Mona, a good friend of mine, is May 28th. May. This is also Eliza Doolittle Day, if you are a fan of My Fair Lady.
Yeah.
But you'd have to know the musical and the lyrics. One of the only musicals I like, by the way. But my father said there was just as many abortions before.
They used to go. The only thing I can agree with it than doing it in a doctor, not in the back rooms, and in the street, the bar rooms.
My father said, you'd go a middle class, which the middle class is only, as we know it, since 1945, and it seems to be going going down the tubes and is being finished off the coup de grace now.
Well, they say there's going to be a poor section and a rich section. There's going to be no more.
That's what California's like now.
Yeah, My
rich
dad
and
was
poor.
My dad was May 18th. And he was born in 1901.
That's Taurus, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And I lived with a woman. The first woman I lived with was May. I can't remember. Let's not think about her.
Yeah. But
I'm sure she forgot about me a long time ago.
Yeah. And the one, folks, don't be discouraged. When you're going, I think one of my pet peeves is because they're not forced to wear the mask. But one of my pet peeves is when you go grocery shopping and people aren't wearing them.
Well, in Monterey, California, which has had all of 6 deaths and 450 to 500,000 people, you have to wear a mask. And an old honey of mine sent me a picture of herself. She took it from below, and she wasn't wearing a mask. And she said, no nasty comments. And she sent me the thing that she was out walking her dog. She's this black Russian terrier that could bite a city bus right in half. And, geez, I was looking at the picture, and I sent her I did send her a remark because I thought that I wasn't supposed to be remarking that she wasn't wearing a mask. But the picture highlighted certain parts of her anatomy, and all of a sudden I was like when I first met her when I was 43, I was like, you're 16 years old again. So that led to an unfortunate series of messaging, but because she doesn't want to wear that mask and she thinks it's ridiculous. But one of the things, they have a large, I call them illegal immigrants, who come undocumented people, and there's a problem with transmitting COVID amongst people because they have to live, in the old days, my father said everybody lived together, 3-4 generations. And you have people, I'm used to just living by myself in a whole house, so you just have 3 people, two parents, a kid, or you don't have it. But not, because of economics, they're close together. So there's certain things going on like that, like if somebody that's farm worker or something has COVID, they want to isolate them. They created a tent city with all this money. But to certain people in Monterey, it seems ridiculous because it's like been passed over. Yeah. It's like the movie with Charlton Heston as Moses, the Passover. Yeah. Some counties are hard hit in California. And nobody really knows what's going on in California because there's been a lot of, what California's like.
Oh, yeah.
But this new governor,
he's something else.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom. It's like,
but you know what?
He's been lying and everything. But
I blame the people for voting them in.
I don't. I used to vote third party. Yeah. I actually voted for. I hate to admit it. I voted for Pete Wilson for governor once. Yeah. But that's when I was a big NRA guy, even though I was a liberal Democrat.
Still,
But then I found out that Pete Wilson would race bait the Mexicans. That's how you get elected, and he'd do everything in power as the mayor of San Diego, the senator, and of course in California, governor is more powerful than a senator. It's like one of the few states. Yeah. So he came back as governor. He quit the Senate, and he'd do everything he could to make sure there was enough illegal or undocumented labor that everybody, everybody wanted. So you really learn about the hypocrisy.
Yeah. See, that's what I find interesting in California. They're all condemning the illegal immigrant, but yet they want them in there to do the work.
Exactly.
And then they cheat the illegal immigrants out of their paychecks because they had their private stores. And folks, you may see, and I'm not telling what you see on a movie, but this is actually true. I know a couple of people who own farms, and they
it was serfdom.
Yeah, and if they were lucky by the end of the season, maybe they made $100.
How can they complain?
Yeah, and they can't.
Yeah, in Monterey, when I was there at the turn of this century, there were conditions on the farms in Monterey County that were worse than in Steinbeck's time.
Oh yeah.
That because if you when they in the beginning of the Grapes of Wrath, it points out how they exploited the Japanese, the Chinese, the Mexicans. But these were white people. These were white people from Oklahoma, and they weren't used to be. They had nothing, but they weren't being used to be treated like serfs. Yeah. So they were rebellious. But it's going on to this day. But I learned a lot about hypocrisy in California.
Me too.
And living for right in the moment. They live when you're in California, just like when you were
there.
You
live for the moment.
You were at the very time. You're at the very a prow of a ship. Then you go to New York, and it's 2 years behind the time. You come back to Boston, it's 3. You come to Manchester, we won't talk about it.
Oh, my God. When I went to California from New Hampshire,
you're right there.
They were so far behind. New Hampshire was so far behind. Then I come back to New Hampshire. I'm going, wait a minute, what's going on here? Your education's behind.
Yeah.
Your
fashions are behind.
Fashions are behind. Yeah. And and the fashions that I wore, let me tell you, they were fat, if you know what I mean. So people would think I was an odd duck because I wore the things that they had in California. But would you change your life?
I can't.
You are who you are.
It's such a moot question, because there's nothing you can do.
No.
And the big question is it destiny and whether you can change your destiny. I think you can change your destiny.
I often think, what would have happened had my mother stayed alive, or if I had a kind of kid?
Oh yeah.
And when the spirit actually showed me pictures of what my life would have been like, I didn't like it.
Yeah, I could have gone to law school 40 years ago. I'd be
Yeah.
much better off economically, but I don't know who I'd be.
No, maybe all they got. I was show working in a factory.
Isn't that fun?
Oh yeah, and I was showing
Those summer jobs to get
Yeah.
through school. Or gas station and stuff.
So I was shown all of that, and I didn't like it. And then one day I'd had enough of doing spiritual readings. I was overwhelmed. I had done it for, like I had a really busy schedule. And I said, I am tired. I've had enough of it. And the Spirit said, I can take this away from you if you really want to. And He showed me what I was going to end up in. And I didn't like that. I don't want to end up in a one-room cockroach haven. You know what I mean?
Jeez, that's my nightmare.
Yeah, so.
Because I'd lived there after I went to school.
Yeah. Oh, I did. With my son and I.
They had the single room only hotels and whatever they were, which, yeah.
When I lost everything in Laconia, I stayed in one of those one-room cocktail havens, my son and I. I got to tell you, he stuck right by me, and I'm very blessed to have him. And I said, you know what? I don't want to go back to that again.
Yeah.
I really don't. I enjoy the way my life is now. Do I take it for granted? Absolutely not. Do you take your life for granted?
No. I realize I got another 20 years, and these
Yeah.
could be the best 20 years.
That's where I want to look at it. There's a person that I know, there's one family, they make over $300,000 to $250,000 a year. And the thing is, and they let you know, but the thing is, one heart attack can create you where you could lose everything.
In California, because I know that doesn't even make you middle class anymore.
No.
You can't even buy a house.
No.
You were grossing between you and your wife $350 and $400.
One of my friends bought a house down in Florida. Up here, we probably would have paid $500,000. They bought it for $245,000.
Oh yeah.
That's a 4-bedroom, a big pool, and a nice yard with all the alligators you want. But they're great people.
I remember Joel looking at places in Florida, but of course his significant other, they're just too much into New Hampshire, But the things you could get. But they have a nice little place up in Concord now.
Yeah. I've thought about do I want to retire up to I'm happy here.
Florida, to me, is dead.
Yeah.
I haven't been there since 1976.
Yeah.
So we used to go there. My father would take my brother and I there for winter. And I like California much better.
I thought about, then we think about, like, if Scott finally gets some money because we own a lot of money. Now, do we want to move? No. We're happy where we are. It may not be the time.
You might be able to move a little away from Manchester and get a place.
Yeah, but then I would have my TV show here,
Yeah.
But no, we're happy where we are. Where I live, the back is like countryish. And out the front, you got the park, and you got all these. And we got some good neighbors, Oh, by the way, speaking of that, John, I have to do this. I want to compliment the police officers of the Manchester Police Department. I really do. They were really... One of them had to jump the fence to go get this guy to arrest him.
Yeah.
But they showed him respect. And they talked with us, and the guy, how evident this guy, okay, we get a fence this way on the other guy's property. How the car got into there and slammed that fence, I'll never know.
It's amazing what a motor vehicle can do, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the guy jumped out and jumped over the fence. Here's the policeman jumping over the fence with him.
Jeez. The
But
days of doing that are long. I could never do it to begin with.
No, But I have to, my compliments to the members on the West Side last week. My compliments to them for the job well done. And I'm not usually one that compliments the police. That, okay? I'm very critical. And then what upsets me the most, and I have to mind my own business, and that's hard for me. There was this lady, she's allowing these kids to play around in the park. And one of the kids, where the St. Raphael Church is.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And they got that ramp, right, for the handicap.
Oh, yeah.
There these kids are riding up on bicycles on that handicap ramp. One of them hit the door, and they, mother too busy, and I said, you shouldn't be in the park, there are signs. And what they did, they gave me the finger. So I have to try my best to not let it get to me. And I'm more conscientious of it because my son and daughter-in-law,
Yeah.
who took every precaution, and my granddaughter, who took every precaution, and I say, you know what, Norm? And my son always yells at me, Dad, mind your business, you know. But I have to remember, it's not their life is not my life, you know. And what we've been doing, John, I walk from my house down here and I walk back home.
You do?
Yes, we do.
I should do that.
Yeah. We went over to the Southern Crane, never again.
Is it open?
Yeah, to go.
Which is that one again? Where is it?
Right across the street here. That's on New Hampshire Mall there, right across the street.
Oh, yeah.
I was not that impressed. Okay. I ordered this is me, folks. You can all love it. You can do what you want, but this is my own opinion. And I think Scott's too, is that we ordered a house fried rice. And to me, all it looked like was just maybe 3 or 4 shrimp in it. And I paid a lot of money.
Yeah.
Now, lo mein was good. You think the lo mein was good?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the rice wasn't. But I like Hang Long's over on Mass Road. Not Mass Road, is it Mass Road?
Mass Road is
Yeah,
North Garden.
yeah,
That's
Massachusetts,
Goffstown.
Yeah, Mammoth Road.
Yeah, Mammoth Road.
Oh, yeah, on this side.
Yeah.
I've
No,
never
Building
been.
19. Have you ever been to that one? Remember when Building 19
You mean
used to
Mammoth
be?
Mills?
Remember, yeah, when the Building
I remember
19?
Mammoth Mills because it was still open when I went out. I had to buy a jacket to go to
Yeah,
college
yeah,
with.
that one, the Building
It cost
19,
$19.
Yeah.
But it was good
yeah.
because-
They have a great Chinese food in there.
Oh, I
That's
didn't
my
know
thing, Yeah. And now one time I went to that Building 19 on Mammoth Mills.
I
or
get
whatever
lost
it's called.
in these. So.
They had this green dress. And I had my friend with me, and I felt very gayish, you know. And I said, "Ow, well, this looked good on me." These kids, they didn't know what to think. They're looking at me kind of weird. I said, "Well, what do you think? Do you think with a blonde wig and this green dress, do you think I would look good in that?" And then mother literally grabbed him by the hands and run him down the aisle, and I never laughed so hard. And my very dear friend,
Yeah, you're in
laughed with me.
Manchester, not West Hollywood.
Yeah, I know. And you know, people, they still have a long way to go in the gay population here. There's still a lot of
There's
anger.
still a long way to go on every
Direction
aspect of the population.
What
here.
people is, I'll have people say to me, "Oh, my gay friend this," or "Oh, my black friend that." Why do they have to use gay or black or brown? Or, why can't they just say "my friend"? That's my pet peeve. You know, I could say, "Well, my bald-headed friend John here." You know?
I prefer the term Anglo-Celtic.
There you go.
That's what they use in Australia.
Yeah, but you know what I say? Why did it? You know, labels are horrible.
Oh, yeah, but there's some innate need for people to give people labels.
Yeah.
And there's an innate need to create an other.
Right.
And the greatest need of most people is conformity.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
People need to do people who need people. The luckiest people. Come on, ready?
I hate Barbra
People-
Streisand.
Huh?
I don't like Barbra Streisand.
You don't. I love her. I love her.
She was in one good movie.
Yeah.
She's a better director, I think.
Yeah.
Nah, I doubt, you know.
Yeah. But, you know, come on, be happy. You know, that's all you got to do. I'm watching.
Is that's a song from the 80s, right?
Yeah. Come
I
on,
stopped
be
listening to
happy.
popular music a long time
Yeah.
ago.
I
And
actually-
television.
I got accused of having a radio going on full blast one time in the apartment, I think. And you know what? I've never owned a radio in my life.
Oh, God. Radio. I can't stand listening to radio.
What is on there? Horrible music. Or
Right,
news.
and you don't even get to program what you're listening to.
No. Or there's news going on, and there's all repetitious, and it's going on and
Half-hour
on.
commercials.
You
per
know,
hour.
yeah, you know.
I used to, in the Bay Area there, they had great public radio.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to that. And I used to listen to baseball on my radio.
Now, I like that, like I said, I never owned it. I would buy
My
a.
car radio.
Yeah.
Let's put it that
That's
way.
what, but it was in the car. Yeah.
Yeah, I was in the car.
But
in
I
the
did-
Bay Area, you drive a lot.
Yeah, I did. I suppose you could say on the record I had one of those stereos with a record, the 78, with a 33 to third.
78 was a little before my time, but they used to have it when I was a kid. It still had 78, 33, it'd say 33 to third,
and 45. Yeah, the
45, but then it would have 16
Yeah.
for those
Yeah. I
spoken
had all
word.
those. And then on one side of it, then I had a built-in bar. Oh,
that
yeah.
must have been something.
Oh yeah, and over here you had all your bar glasses. You could hold 7 different types of booze and all. Oh, I was really upscale. But and the problem was that the radio went, home stereo. When you could, it didn't take,
That's true. The receiver, that's right.
Right,
It would blow out and you'd have to mail it, the whole thing in.
Yeah. So now
Folks, things are better now.
Yeah. But now if I want the music, I go on the Comcast.
I have a radio from the 30s.
Ooh, that's worth money.
The old man said, well, no, it's really bad shape.
Oh.
Everything fell off. It's a wood cabinet. It's this tall. 3 men have to pick it up. But it's got tubes. And they had shortwave radio in those days.
Yeah.
It could pull in London and everything.
Yeah.
My father said, be careful, because if you touch one of those tubes, you could get electrocuted. Because it's the 30s.
Yeah.
Remember when I was a kid, that TV repairman coming on, every month or so, they replace the tubes.
And they made money back then.
Oh, yeah. That was a very good business to be in.
The first color TV my foster mother bought, you had mainly red and green.
Really?
And you had to go outside, you had to adjust the antenna,
Oh, even with a black and white, you had
Yeah,
to do
you
that.
know. And I can remember my dad bought a TV. When I first saw Elvis Presley, I owned a black and white TV.
Yeah.
I mean, with a pink on the outside, And we'd all sit there and watch that, And you know what? And then I can remember I used to go to my friend's house. If they advertised Playtex bras, she would not allow us to watch it. She would make us change the channel.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
That's how the old-fashioned was back in them days.
What about magazines? They used to have, I dreamt I was out in front in my maiden form bra.
Yeah, you couldn't watch it. No.
Oh, my mother had Cosmopolitan, and I learned as
We
much
weren't
from
even-
that as
they
from
weren't even
my
allowed-
father's Playboys.
Yeah. They weren't even allowed to have those. I used to sneak in them, the thing. The thing, I think we had more fun as a child. Today they don't. I don't know if they really know what fun is.
Oh, I bet they do, because everybody would have said the same thing when we were young.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Or my mother would say, "That's music," like the rock and roll, Chubby Checker, and all them. Got back in when she was in her 70s, early 80s. My foster mother, and back in then they would talk about, the Roaring 20 music, and to them that was. But then as time goes on, everybody's music changes, So every year, or every era, there's a different sense of music.
Oh, my grandmother was born in 1886, which I always remember because that's the year the Statue of Liberty was put up. Oh, I should probably close that.
Yeah.
But, so we don't hear any bleeding soundtrack.
All right.
But, I can't remember what we were talking about. Television?
Your mother and your grandmother, your mother.
My grandmother come over and just wanted to watch Lawrence Welk. Oh, it was horrible.
My mother every Saturday night at 7 o'clock at night.
Oh, my God.
And that guy that played the accordion and this girl that played the accordion.
God, polka music.
Oh, yeah. I like poker.
What's your favorite polka?
I don't know if I had one.
The Too Fat polka?
Yeah, there you go.
I don't want
No, I used to like roll out the barrel. We're going to have a barrel of fun.
Music began with me, and I can first remember my sisters had a Beatles album, and the next door neighbors who were French Canadian and Catholics. I was we're Protestant, one of the few Protestant families in the entire. Although my mother was a Catholic, didn't realize that till much later, and. They had the Singing Nun, not with Debbie Reynolds, but with the actual Singing
band.
Nun, who was from Belgium or someplace.
Yeah.
So we knew the Beatles were. People don't remember, but people thought the Beatles were salacious too, 'cause shaking their heads and everything. Like that's some type of
Yeah.
on par with Elvis shaking his hips and all that. So we put on the Singing Nun, kind of like sanctify the place. And then we listened to the Beatles album. So music begins with me like 1964. Yeah. I don't like 50s rock and roll and the early stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just
I like the old-fashioned
few.
classic country western.
Oh, I love Hank Williams, Sr.
Yeah.
It's amazing what he did in his short life.
And he died, he froze to death in his limo.
Well, he had spinal bifida. spine was open, and he was in excruciating pain.
Well, that's why he drank so much.
He drank and he took all sorts of drugs. He was on chloral hydrate because some hack his doctor wasn't even a physician. There's a great biography about him that came out about 12 years ago. And for him to perform through all that pain, and he was the Grand Ole Opry threw him off, and he had all sorts of troubles because everybody thought he was a drunk, but he was in excruciating pain. And so the doctor he had wasn't a doctor, so he'd give him anything he wanted.
That's like
he died in the back of his Cadillac.
And
on Christmas Day.
From the age of 14 until I think I was like 16, my mother and I every Saturday night, Joe, we would go to Canaan, New Hampshire, and it was a place called the Blackwater Pavilion. Every Saturday night we would all go there, and they would play almost the same music week after. But it filled the hall. They gave us something to do. 20 cents for a hot dog, 35 cents for a hamburger, and 25 cents for a soda. And
really, that sounds expensive.
Yeah, back then it was, But you know what?
Because I remember even like for a Coke you could get for 15 cents. But of course they're going to mark everything up.
But if they had a fight, they went out back, they fist fought, and that was it. They didn't pull out guns, they didn't pull knives.
Any redneck joint you go to, there's going to be fist fighting.
Oh, yeah.
But there used to be a place called the Circle 9 Ranch.
Oh, yeah, that was in Epsom?
Johnny Cash played there just before he hit really big.
Yeah. Klein Joy used to play there.
So, there was this was part of some country music circuit.
Yeah, I can remember when I was a kid, I made myself a microphone. Pounding the ground with a can, and I had my guitar and didn't know how to play it, but that was all right. And I used to think I was a great singer. I was always alone. I never had friends, and stuff like that. But you know what? You can amuse yourself, even as a child. Even today you can, You don't have to rely back on drugs or alcohol or anything like that. You can just have fun.
Oh, alcohol. Let's not talk about that.
Well, I've been sober almost 24 years, so.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm not saying all them times I'm being inebriated were all bad, because they weren't. I was more of a daring dancer, I'll put it that way. But, people, you got to remember, you are in control of your own life.
Yeah, you are.
If you allow someone else to control your life for you, that's your own fault. I learned that the hard way.
Well, that's what William Burroughs, who people put with the Beats, because he's a good friend of Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg. That was one of his themes. He had been a heroin addict. That was his first pulp novel, Junk. Then he wrote this very controversial novel, Naked Lunch, which was supposed to be Naked Lust, but Jack Kerouac wasn't wearing his glasses, and so he led Naked Lust. So well, that's a better title, which is about heroin and all sorts of depravity in like North Africa, and this mystical place he created called Interzone, where he thought that the crux of life was people trying to control other people, whether it's just a society, whether it's a pusher with a junkie with whoever they're involved with, but that the essence of life to him was control. Somebody trying to exert control, which of course then the real essence of life is trying to break the control others have of you, or that you exert over other people.
The one thing I've learned in my own life and throughout life is that you cannot blame the drug dealer when you buy the drug.
Well,
you bought the
you're
drug.
right in a degree.
You made that choice. Say with me and alcohol, I can't blame going to the store and blame the store clerk.
I would never.
Or the person that the cigarette smell. You cannot consciously blame them because you have your own mind, and if you allow them to, I'm not saying that.
I agree with you, because there's too much this way where, because there are causes.
You're right.
But everybody just bails out of any responsibility. But this happened because of that.
Well, this young lady I just talked to, she had a drug problem.
Yeah.
And I am so proud of her because she overcame the drug that she had and went on to school, She's a hairdresser, and she's also an LPN.
Yeah.
And when she talked about her son, I'm very proud of that. You can dream and make the impossible dream happen for you if you want to.
Well, that's true. Because why, Norm? Because life is a dream.
We always remember this.
The dreaming wisdom
Yeah.
of the bards.
Yeah, we always can control. Does your life get out of control? Yeah, but you can bring it back. It's up to you.
Yes, as long as you don't despair and think it's over.
Mm-hmm. This is why I don't believe in the word failure. Only, like you just said, if you think it's over, then you're going to fail yourself.
Right.
You're not feeling. Oops.
You'll betray yourself.
Yeah. Welcome to Norm's Community Corner.
Hi, Norm. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Good. I didn't know that you were a nurse for 32 years.
Oh, yeah.
Where?
Well, I went at the Laconia State School in Laconia for 22 years.
Yeah?
And then I worked as an agency nurse around here in Manchester for 10 years.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So where's your pin?
My pen?
Pin.
Yeah, your pin.
I
The
don't wear
nurse's
it.
pin.
I don't need it. I don't wear it anymore.
Why?
I'm not a nurse anymore.
And how can you be a nurse, a teacher, and plus a reverend?
A lot of hard work. I've been out of nursing for a long, long time. I'm studying online, and I've been to church, and I've studied classes to become a reverend. I have the certificates in my office, and as a teacher, I am a teacher because the Spirit allows me to teach.
Yeah?
Okay? I want you to let you know, every one of us are teachers. Everybody's a student.
I know we all learn.
Right.
Can
Okay.
you do a reading for me?
I don't have. Yeah. What do you? Okay. One of the things I'm going to tell you is that I love the way you're always very inquisitive. You always will be. Okay. And the one thing I also look at you too is that there's a lot of healing coming around you and your family. Don't look at things on the bright side of life. You understand what I mean by that?
Oh, yeah, I'm always positive.
Okay. And also, who's the gentleman that passed away that you were close to?
What gentleman?
I'm looking at a male person. I don't know if it's your dad or your husband or whatever. And I'm looking at a male person, and it's telling me that he's still by your side all the time.
Yeah?
Okay? And whatever you do, he's encouraging you to keep on the way you are. You're going to be around for a long time.
A long time?
Yep.
What's a long time?
I'm looking at you're going to be at least between 99 and 102. I don't see any.
By the way, I like my rock and roll.
Me too. We're never too old for that, are we?
And I remember the Dorsey Brothers. I listened to those records.
Yeah. But that was back in the 40s, wasn't it?
Well, Frank Sinatra started.
Frank Sinatra.
Tommy Dorsey.
Yeah. I actually met my last ex-wife through a Frank Sinatra song.
Which one?
Is that right?
Yeah, New York.
I did it my way.
Yeah, that's the one. And she did it her way, all right, you know. But I also will tell you that there's a lot of, if you want it, there's a lot of positive changes coming around you. Financially, you're going to do well. Do you want to move from where you're living?
No, I want to stay put.
Okay, because you're going to have a choice, okay? And when you do cross, you're going to be wherever you have. I don't see you in a nursing home, and I don't see you in assisted living care.
Where do you see me?
Right at your own home in your own bedroom. First of all, you're
I don't have time to stay in my bedroom. I'm always on the go.
No, I mean when you get what I mean is when you get older, and it's time for you to cry, you're going to be doing it in your own bed. You know, one thing about you, you do not let the negative energy slow you down.
Nope, I don't think negative.
No, and that's the winning part of you is no matter how bad things are, you look at the bright side of it.
Well, the sun is shining today. That's bright.
Isn't it? Yeah. I love going walking between 5 and 6 o'clock in the morning. I really do because it's so peaceful, you know.
It is.
And one of the things I will also tell you is that you're going to hear from someone that you haven't heard from in the last maybe 10 to 15 years. Then they're going to give you a surprise phone call.
Yeah.
Okay. Be positive. Keep thinking what you're doing. You know what? You're going to be around for a long, long time. Your mother, by the way, is saying hi and she loves you.
My mother's saying hi and she loves me.
Yep.
Where's my mother?
Your mother passed, right?
I'm just asking you, where do you think she is?
She's over on the other side towards the heavens and skies.
Yeah.
Okay. And she's also with a lot of angels around her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you have a good relationship with your mother?
Awesome.
All right. And you're a lot like her, aren't you?
I'm like myself.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. We always have our traits, you know. And like that.
Well, if somebody raises you, you become them.
Yeah, right, you know. And you know what? I want you to always remember that. I'm going to let you go, but always be proud and always be the winner that you were. Never give up.
Yep. Well, have a wonderful,
You too.
wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Is that the one that criticized me for not wearing a mask?
Could be.
I had like I said, John, I had a lady that was on, and she went right up one side of me and right down the other side of me for not wearing a mask. Hey, can you keep talking for a couple of minutes?
Sure.
I'm going to go.
I don't know what about
Whatever.
though.
John's going to take over for a couple of minutes, and I'll be right
Okay,
back.
I'll look at. We'll see what the stock market's up to.
There you go.
If only we could read that.
It's going to go up.
Yeah. Well, we don't know. With $4 trillion being pumped into the stock market, I hope it would go up.
Yeah.
But reason I'm wearing a mask today is because I had a COVID-19 test on Thursday because I was having shortness of breath. But I saw my allergist and she gave me a new drug, a more stronger drug for asthma, and my shortness of breath went away. But, I think it's better to be cautious than reckless. So I wore my mask on my show because my co-host that day, which is today, Michael Gonzo Gonzalez, has a 1-year-old kid. And why take chances? But it's very easy to get tested. I contacted the state of New Hampshire. And you're supposed to get an appointment in 48 hours. They actually gave me an appointment in 24 hours. Drive up to Concord, get right off exit 14, the one that says the state office building. Except instead of going to the right when you're coming from Manchester, you take a left, go under the highway, and there's a street there. I think it's called Stickney Street or Stickney Road. And that's where the bus terminal's on. And I guess it's the Army National Guard, New Hampshire Army Guard. There's 2 tents manned by medics. Now, when I got there, they did not have my information, and because usually if you've made the reservation, they have the packet is all ready, and it's got all your information. They give it to you, and you look and check. Date of birth and your name, but mine wasn't ready, so they had to prepare it. So that put an extra 5 minutes on me. Some of the people that came, it took less than 10 minutes. And you never leave your car. You just drive up. It's in a parking lot, which was for one of those parking lots they have for buses and public transportation, park and go by whatever. Because we don't have any train. Must be by bus. And finally it was my turn. 2 people got there after me and went through because they were already prepared. They put my stuff on the computer. They got the date of my birth wrong, so they added a couple minutes on. So then it's your turn. You drive up, and they take this long Q-tip, skinny Q-tip, and they tell you they're going to have to put it 5 seconds, hold it to a count of 5 in each nostril. I tell you, I've had worse things happen because I was joking with them. I'm a veteran, they're Army, and said getting the shots in basic training was worse, which it was, but they stick it up your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and your eyes water. It's not as bad as you think. It's painful, but not painful like, because I've experienced a lot of pain, like breaking something or just when your back goes out. Then they do it the other nostril. Norm, I have to swear that I could almost see for the first time, I'm 60 years old, sadomasochist, how people, pain is pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
Because I've always had trouble with my sinuses, and for years they were all clogged up. I had to have surgeries and stuff. So, it's like they're opening it up. It's like, oh. But
Here we go, right?
I'll tell you, as I was driving back, it felt like one of my eyeballs was going to pop. But it wasn't really that bad.
No.
And you're supposed to get 5 to 7 days results.
Yeah.
Today
well,
would
they
be...
give them now. Well, they give them to you. My daughter-in-law got hers overnight. My son got his a day later.
But see, nobody, I was talking to my sister who's a nutritionist. She said, why even bother?
Yeah.
Because they're so unreliable. There's different tests. And, yeah.
One of the things that
Let's not be
that
negative,
that
though.
if you had a flu shot, that it could affect your reading on the.
Right, I got mine in October. I always get or earlier than that.
Yeah, for the last 10 years, they could.
VA, they always are giving it to you. But now, through the VA, you can just go to like Walgreens or I guess Rite Aid or something, and you can get it there.
I have a problem with the people like at Rite Aid.
Right, you can get tested in Rite Aid.
Yeah, but I have a problem. They're not licensed nurses.
No, they're not. They have to have like an exemption under there.
And they're not licensed physicians. I actually refuse to get a shot from the pharmacy people, the pharmacy technicians or whatever.
If you have
That's
allergies,
like I will not Lemonella and give me a shot or draw blood.
Because they're not supposed to.
No. Well, they can if they're certified.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Yeah. Well, I'm glad that this lady questioned out my need to know. Wear a pin now. I've been out of nursing for, let me see.
What is a pin? Because in England they wear...
We used to wear a pin up here.
They wear a little watch.
Yeah.
They call them sisters.
Yeah. I used to wear a little pin right here.
Usually if I'm on and Heidi's watching, she'll send me messages. This thing's taking over everybody's consciousness,
Yeah. See, that's why I don't listen to the news.
It is Heidi. I'm going to turn the phone off again.
That's okay. Hi, Heidi. How are you? She's a state rep, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Democrat.
Oh, yeah.
She's not had our difference of opinions, let me put it that way.
Yes.
Okay. And no, I don't dislike her. I respect her opinions and like that, She did put on there one time that if I don't vote, I don't have the right to speak out.
I don't believe that at all.
I don't either. I still speak out. But I did vote.
I believe in what George Carlin said, that the people that vote have no right to speak out. Because he said, you're the people to blame.
Yeah.
And you can't do the routine because it's full of obscenity.
That's like all these people that are bitching about Pelosi or they're bitching about Trump. They got to remember, they voted him in.
I have friends that bitch about both of them, about Trump and Pelosi with
They
equal
bitch
venom.
about the mayor.
Oh, I got to hear
They bitch about this. They bitch about... The only thing I'm disappointed I never hear any more from my alderman.
Bill?
Yeah. And that's okay.
We just had Bill on the show. We'll have him call in next week for you. Yeah. He was with me for an hour. Hour today, almost an hour.
Yeah, and it's okay. He probably doesn't like, a lot of the people don't like my opinions, and that's okay.
Oh, that when Bill and when.
But the thing, one of the things that bothered me the most, John, is then all over the front page about the mayor's daughter having the virus.
Yeah, but she is the mayor.
Yeah, but still, I guess her and the dog went outside and all. You know what? I don't
Henry?
care. I don't care.
But it's kind of like a public service type of thing.
No, it's just bull slamming somebody.
No, but I thought it was her that told about it.
No.
to show that even like the mayor gets it.
But I was so outraged. I was so outraged to think that, that I realized that they're in a public office.
Right.
And that they're accountable to the people.
Yeah. And she's also the first
Yeah. The first
citizen.
lady, is that what they call it?
And her husband's the first. What do you call the first
I don't
man?
know. He must be the first man. That's like, what would you call a woman who's a president? Did you call her husband the first?
Madame President. They already, the protocol.
Yeah.
And it'd be they'd never figured out it would be first man, first.
And I find it interesting. Like Kelly Ayotte ended up being a teacher at Harvard.
She's at the Kennedy School. I don't know why she doesn't run for the Senate again.
Oh God, no, help us.
Oh, I like her.
I asked her one time. Okay.
I used to interview her. It was always she was always such nice and gracious. But see, I'm a Democrat, and I'm doing it neutral for
she's
Yahoo.
a Democrat that turned Republican.
Well, I don't believe
You
that.
know.
Although I was just characterizing the Biden Democrats as as the Reagan Party.
But
Ronald Reagan.
Well, I asked Kelly Ayotte, why are you using as a platform when the police officer that got killed?
Oh yeah,
You
because Chief Willard, when he was the assistant chief, went around with her out of uniform though.
Yeah.
Because he was there that night. Because we talked about that. Because anybody could have got that conviction.
Yeah, and I said,
A cop killer.
Well, why are you using it? And I said, she said, well, I had permission from the family. I said, I didn't realize Will Iffentime was there too. He said, that's not an appropriate question. I go, yeah, it is.
It actually is a good question.
Yeah, and I said, and I didn't. Channel 9 News actually recorded it.
Really?
Yeah, down here at City Hall.
Yeah.
And they don't. See, the thing is, if you ask a question, they can't answer it. They kind of like ignore it. That's why I decided I wasn't going to run for politics.
I'll tell you, Norm. Remember, I was just a child, and they were going out of favor of limbo records for people dancing the limbo. Because my parents' generation, a party was always how much the booze and the smoking. It'd make us all look at our worst like lightweights. You know what I mean? They went through the Depression as kids, World War II, all sorts of stuff. So, there were drinks galore. You look at, who's that guy, Charles Beard or somebody Beard that used to write for the New York Times? He used to do the cuisine. He used to have these cookbooks. As you give them to my niece that my mother had, it says, make sure make sure you're well stocked with liquor. It says how much to have it. You could float a battleship on it.
I tried to sue the whiskey company, I really did. Hey, they were suing the Marlboro country, right? The Marlboro cigarettes.
Yeah, but you have to get in with the class action with the lawyers.
But I talked to 3 lawyers. They laughed at me because it's actually a social accepted drink. You go to any party, you're going to find people drinking. I've always said this. I think you'll agree with me, John, is that no matter how depressed people are, how almost broke we are, they're still going to find a way to buy booze.
Smoking cigarettes.
And get their hair done.
I think it's harder to quit smoking than drinking, but...
It was very hard for me to quit smoking.
Yeah.
This month, I've been 7 years.
Drinking and smoking go together.
Yeah.
In a word.
Matt, I sat here, I sat over here, and Matt sat here 7 years ago. Right around this time, right? Yeah. Right, Scott? Yeah. So, and I haven't had a cigarette since. I tried to light one up just for the heck of it. Oh, it was awful.
I started smoking again last year briefly. And then I bought a pack and I smoked one of them and I retched. It's like my whole body just revolted against it.
I didn't start smoking until
I had to throw a whole pack. I think I gave them to somebody in the street. No, I think I just threw them out.
I didn't start smoking until I was like in my 40s.
Really?
Yeah. I puff off and on. I mean, when I was with the in crowd, the little finger up and the holding the cigarette holder in the in crowd, and all that. But I never really truly smoked until I got into my...
I smoked in the Army because you got extra time off.
Yeah.
And they were only 20 cents a pack.
Yeah. One of my friends and I, we used to walk around with a cigarettes rolled up in our sleeves,
Year before my time.
Oh, yeah, the white T-shirt.
Like John Travolta in Grease, right?
Yeah. And we walk around there, Mr. Tough Guy with a cigarette rolled up. Back then, we thought we were cool. Now, if anybody doesn't know, it's not cool.
Well,
But the one thing I tell people is, if you
it
have
is
COPD,
grotesque in a way.
and you're only going to live a certain amount of time, and if you really enjoy this, you know what? Enjoy what you enjoy.
I'll tell you what, nicotine really drains spiritual power. There's actually I can tell you about it off camera. You can actually show it.
Yeah.
It's not a good thing to have. It's just it drains your power.
And it really does, The one thing that I will tell, if you don't smoke, don't start.
Definitely.
Okay? If this is like when you're in your 60s or your 70s and 80s and you got COPD and this is all you got going for you, that's your choice. That's the way I look at it. No matter what, with a COPD, you're going to get it. It's not going to heal.
My mother and I quit at the same time. We made a deal. I was 31, so she would have been 64. And she never had any problems because she quit. But her substitute was chewing gum, and there'd be gum everywhere. But then Mona came to work, years later, and I got a leg up by she's smoking. So I started smoking again, so I could go out with her, and have the smoke breaks. And it was not as hard to quit the second time.
No. And then your clothes,
the first time.
Then your clothes smell.
Burn holes in your shirt. I used to smoke a couple packs a day.
Oh, I didn't do.
Burn holes in your shirt.
Oh yeah.
On the rock.
Especially if you had a couple of drinks, you wake up in the morning and say, "What happened to my shirt?"
That's why God created neckties, right?
Yeah.
So you burn that instead of your shirt.
But I am so glad that I don't smoke. But I've had enough, and I'll always be grateful for that actually hypnotizing me on TV.
I feel like having a cigarette right now.
I'm sorry?
And a drink.
Yeah.
I wonder if Puerto Vallarta's open. I think it is.
Marlboro's and
Marlboro Lights. I used to smoke.
I did a Marlboro.
I used to smoke
I smoked
cigars.
one of my real dad's cigarettes. He smoked Pall Mall, non-filtered. I think I was like 11 or 12 years old, big guy, My dad gave me this cigarette. Oh, all right, I'm smoking a cigarette with my dad. I'm coughing and I'm,
Yeah, those are the ones that had like 20 milligrams of nicotine.
Yeah, no filter.
No filter.
Yeah. Like
Tarrytowns.
Yeah.
Old Golds.
Old Gold.
And the cigarettes would smell, like he smells like Old Golds. Yeah. And Camels smelled different.
Oh, Camel, Lucky Strikes.
Yeah.
I used to smoke the Camel filters.
Lucky Strikes long gone.
No, they're still here.
Yeah, but that used to be really popular.
Oh, they were.
I worked at a gas station that, everybody would come in and get gas, buy cigarettes.
And the interesting part is that in the lower class of people, and I don't mean to be a snob when I say that.
I know what you mean.
It was all, like with us, it was always the Newports with a hit.
Newports?
Newport menthol. Oh, yeah, that was the hit of the day,
Menthals are so disgusting.
Oh, yeah. But I didn't, because I was with a hip crowd. I'll never forget the day that my nephew and I, we thought we'd be cute and try chewing tobacco.
Jeez.
And I didn't know you were supposed to spit it out.
Well, you learned the first time you
I
swallowed.
sure did. I never chewed tobacco again. Hey, anyone has any experiences about this cigarette smoking or the drinking or whatever, or you want to join it, give John and I a call. We'll also be very happy to talk with you. The number is 640-3091. Next week I'm having Don Baldick on. He's ready.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, he's ready for U.S. Senate against Sheen Shaheen.
He's not. So how do you put his name?
Don Baldick.
Oh, General Baldick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's coming on for an hour.
Yeah, he has PTSD.
Yeah, and he could be.
How'd you nab him?
I'm sorry?
How did you
nab him? He was
nab
actually
him?
on with Gary Hopper. And so he said he would come on. He's the only one that had ever run for elected official that actually honored my wishes in coming on. The other lady, she's a captain or something in the Navy Reserves or something like that. She couldn't come because she got shipped out.
Oh, that's right. She had to drop out.
Yeah.
She was running for Congress.
You're right. Is she still running?
I doubt it.
Okay. Yeah. You folks,
when you're on active duty, you can't run.
Yeah. One thing I am going to tell you, Republicans, if you want to beat the Democrats or the opposite party, get your butts out there and start campaigning. You don't hear anybody on the parties. You don't hear them campaigning. You don't see anybody campaigning. And I'm not saying, and even before the virus, if you want to truly win, get your, can I say ass on there?
Sure, why not?
Okay, get your asses out there and start campaigning. Show them that you mean business. Show them. And that's the same with anybody that's running for any political office. John and I, we're going to run for dog catcher and catcher. You know, Matt and I used to say that, you know, we're going to run for catcher and assistant catcher.
I'll tell you what, I was told when I ran for state rep in 2014 by that an unelected dog catcher would have more status. God, let's not get into that.
Yeah. Well, that's like...
Politics is a bunch of crap.
You know,
I can think of a much stronger word, but we are.
Yeah, we are on
this
the
isn't
air,
Amsterdam
right,
before it moved to 10.
Yeah. One of the things that I often think about, a lot of these people that are running for office, like
they do it to make money.
Yeah.
It's a business.
It is. That's all
Politics is a business, folks. It's a pure money-making business. Even here in New Hampshire, with these $100 an hour clowns from the clown college, because the parties will provide you with packages and consultants or whatever you have.
Yeah. You know, that's like...
A lot of them don't,
No.
because I've never lived in a place like this where, well, I've got 3 state reps, I've got 4, I've got 7, I've got this, I got that. It makes no sense.
Who's representing
Nothing
who,
makes sense
you know?
in this state.
You know, and I like that, like when, and I have
doesn't
nothing
work
against
either.
like the guy, that Glenn that's running for, it's the people's mayor.
Glenn's running again?
I'm sure he will. Is he running it for the people, or is
He's
he
never
running
run
it
for a
his own
state
ego?
office, has he?
Yeah. Welcome to North Community Corner.
Hi, Norm. This is Claudette.
Hey, Claudette. This is
you
my
doing?
very dear friend, Claudette. How you doing, darling?
Oh, pretty good. I lost. I'm gonna tell you that not on TV.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Uh-uh.
We're a couple banditos.
Yeah, Claudette's a very good friend of mine. Okay. I'm here with John Hopwood, who's also a very good friend of mine.
John Claude Hopper.
Claude Hopwood.
Okay.
right.
Yeah, I watched you, and I said, well, I'm gonna call him before for supper.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, and half an hour you are done at 6 o'clock. Eh?
Right. Yeah. Wait.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Time.
Wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Norman, I'm ready to go because your friend is there,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna talk to you later.
Okay. Give me a call later, sweetheart.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Elevate that foot.
Oh my! I'm gonna lose my nail.
Okay. Give me a call later. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah. Very good friend. She comes to my office a lot weekly, and we do a lot of encouraging counseling with her. And I have a machine that I do that I put on her leg. When they come into my office, I always let them know that I'm not certified on anything, and whatever. I think you have to be upfront and honest with them. And that's like when these faith healers or these people that are even spiritual healers, they call themselves healers. I don't agree with that word. Okay, you are a tool to help heal people, for them to help themselves.
Yeah.
Okay, we are a tool, and that's all we are. We're not a, you know. I'm not gonna because what they don't realize is that if you say, I'm a healer, so and they come to you for healing, and they're not healed, they can sue you. Think about that, you know, and that's what I tell them. Doesn't that make right?
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, think about that. If you go and you advertise that you're a healer, and nothing happened to me, and the word of mouth can hurt you more than
Right.
help you, you know, and that's the worst part. By the way, John, your mother is smiling down at you.
Well, their birthday's coming up.
That's why she's smiling. She's saying, "Don't forget it." Dude, have a little celebration for her and your dad.
Oh, the two of them together?
You know, kind of tension there, huh?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you off camera
Yeah,
about something.
yeah. But, yeah.
There's something to what you're saying. I'm not going to say on TV.
But just have a celebration for the both of them at one time. Have like a favorite meal that one of them might have had. Maybe make a birthday cake in their memory or whatever. Because what you're actually doing is you're letting bygones be bygones, and you're celebrating them.
I'll tell you something off camera.
Sure.
He said as he scratched his ear.
Yeah. One of the things
I can't really tell you on camera,
Yeah,
but there's something you like hit on the target.
you
But I'll
can
tell you.
text me too. One of the things. Do you want to go to Chicago for a visit?
No, it's not Chicago.
Because you're going away.
Yeah, it's west. So.
Yeah, and it's going to be a good visit for you.
We'll see.
When that happens, think positive.
I hope they never come back.
Don't be. I was just going to say, don't be surprised if you don't. Okay, you live here.
It's going through Chicago. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Okay. You may live here, but it really isn't your home.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
My father lived in Chicago, by the way.
I'm sorry?
We tried. My father lived outside of Chicago in this wonderful suburb, and he wanted me to buy the house, but I never thought in terms like that.
My very good friend Bishop Paul, when he comes in, he's going to be coming again. Did you meet him? No, probably not.
I've seen him on, but I've never been on
when
with
he
him.
comes on again, I'm going to have you come on so you can meet him. Very beautiful man. He says, yes, I was born in the United States. He grew up in Massachusetts. But his heart is in France. He lived in a monastery over there. And he's always lived in monasteries. As a bishop. And here's a man, to talk about faith, you would love him. He came out of the monastery from the DR, Dominican Republic. No money, no faith.
That's right. I
All
remember
he
that
had was
story.
nothing. But this man, and now he has a monastery of his own down in Virginia. And he truly lives by faith, just like I do. I'm just so blessed to have him as a friend. And I pick on him, of course, I don't know if anybody I don't pick on, actually. But I am so blessed. If people will allow the Spirit to help us, wouldn't it be a heck of a lot better in this world?
Of course. It's turning away from that.
Well, Nostradamus and Revelations both say man is going to destroy the earth. And the insects,
As we know it.
yeah, and the insects are going to also destroy the earth. Now they got what? Killer hornets?
There's
I have a
always
hard time-
something. There was remember there were fire ants 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Geez, I remember just regular hornets and wasps. When you're a boy, I've been stuffed everything.
When I grew up in Springfield, they had this. My dad had this great big rhubarb patch.
We had a rhubarb patch at my house. Yeah.
You cut it off, you wash you wash it down, and you eat it, or then we used to have the vegetables. Because I lived right near a brook. You go into the brook, you wash it. Were we healthier then?
I don't know.
I was.
I just know that I remember as a kid drinking some water from a brook. And then as we moved up, we saw it was a garbage dump, strewn everything.
Yeah. But down where we grew up, and then
nothing happened.
No, and my friend is going to be giving me some goat's milk.
Goat's milk is good.
I like goat's milk.
They used to. In the 70s, there were goats up in somebody had a goat up in Goffstown that sold it. It has a certain something that the cow's milk because you're not going to buy unpasteurized cow's milk.
Well, my sister, my third,
but it has something about it that's very healthy.
One of my middle sisters, she ate too many blueberries and got blueberry toxic poisoning or whatever. The thing that saved her life. And thank goodness my dad had a goat, was the goat's milk and yeast.
Really?
Yep. The doctor gave that to her and made her drink that in the morning and then at night for 4 days. Okay. Some of the old-fashioned remedies, John, work a lot better than the ones they do today.
She ate the unripened blueberry. It's just, I was in England 2 years ago, at my friend Tom's cottage, and they had all these blackberries. I used to eat them all the time because I could barely walk, so I was walking through all the country and everything. But they were ripe, but you had to be, look at them. You'd just be eat them by the handfuls.
They tell you not to eat the choke cherries. I used to eat the choke cherries all the time.
I've never seen those. Not here in Manchester.
No, not time to look at. I'm not a big fruit. I don't care that much for strawberries. I don't care that much for.
I love
the only thing I really like are the oranges and the peaches. I'm used to loving California and going out and get my oranges.
Oh, geez, I remember the tree. You'd have oranges.
Yeah, or get my grapefruit.
Yeah.
I can remember. But as far as the berries go, I was never a big fan of the berries. I don't care that much for blueberries, blackberries, strawberries. If you got a lot of whipped cream I can hide them in, I'm happy.
My father's aunt had a strawberry farm. We used to go pick them and eat them.
Yeah. And then when I used to live with my dad.
Litchfield was famous for corn, strawberries, and wood and bricks. Yeah. But now everything's. There used to be a truck farm for Boston, but now no longer.
Do they still have that bread center on? Is it Mammoth Road? Going towards Hooksett?
No, I think that's
probably long gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, And but every Monday, my foster mother would do the baking. Every Wednesday, my foster mother would do the laundry. They had these, and the people that were called hobos back in them days.
Yeah.
They always knew it. My mother would say, you go to the brook, you wash up, and she'd always give them a clean set of clothes. You wash up, and she'd hang them when she had, and hang them up, and she would feed them. And they were appreciative. And this is in the country.
Yeah.
And they were appreciative. Today, the sad part is too many people are taking for granted. Oh, no. And you see people walking down the street begging for money. I had a hard time dealing with that.
Well, bums always in Boston and places always beg for money.
Yeah.
Some of them were even violent, as I went to school there.
Well,
that's the only time I ever had any problems in Boston. And that was only once. Yeah. Some bum. He was a younger one. The old farts were fine, that were wearing like 3 different pairs of pants.
Oh, yeah.
Because you could see they had holes in them. Yeah. They were usually friendly.
Yeah. Well, Mary and I were leaving the studio here one time. Mary and I and Scott. And there's this guy, he had a white beard. And he wanted to get money. And he literally going to charge at us.
Yeah.
Okay.
San Francisco, and I lived there in the 90s, had a homeless problem that makes whatever happens here look like nothing. And everybody's panhandling. But you'd only give some money to, there'd be an old guy and with his old dog. I remember, and he had built a mock-up of a fishing pole with the thing. So, he has to get $1 because he was ingenious.
Yeah.
R. Crumb, the famous illustrator?
Yeah.
Yeah, his brother used to live on the street. He probably still does, for all I know.
Yeah.
I used to see him on the street. But he never begged for money. He was some type of ascetic or something.
Yeah. They had a guy that was on the way up here that had a sign that went off in Granite Street, down by the mill yard there.
I haven't seen the
water coming down by with a beard, walking down by. And I said, why don't you just enjoy your stimulus check? Do they get them if they don't have an address?
No, if you have to put in for it.
Yeah.
You had till May 5th to put in. It was very easy.
Yeah.
But you'd have to do it.
Yeah, you have to have a bank account or
an address.
Yeah.
But hey, some of those people are professionals. There's a guy that put some of the people out.
Yeah.
I actually saw it happening too after giving the person money.
Yeah. Well, they had a TV show on Chaos, and they had these 2 women. How they would take turns standing on that second street. They would take turns and saying they were home. They had to feed their children, yet their children were growing up, And Chaos and whatever this other show was called went out and bought them a new van. So they wouldn't have to stand on the street corner anymore.
I wonder what happened to it.
Probably sold it.
They probably went to a new business.
Yeah.
I was with a politician whose name shall not be named.
Yeah.
somebody closer to my age or something. Or I'm thinking of myself as 40. So no, if it was my age, they'd be 60. Isn't it funny? You think of yourself like 40 years old.
Well, I don't think of myself at 74.
Yeah. And we saw, you don't usually see women panhandlers. That's like recent. And he did make a comment about why she had to be there when she could do something else. And the person said it in such like an innocent fashion. It's like, what's she doing there?
Well, I can remember I was on the bus going up to Hereford's and Walmart and that, and I can remember that when I got off, the guy said, well, I don't know if I could have, he took out his handful. You should see the wad of money this guy had on him.
Yeah.
Then I take a bus back, and there he is panhandling all over again.
Every city I ever lived in.
You always had them.
The other thing is prostitutes. When I went to college, I was down in Arson Row, which was Symphony, Hemingway Street, where the Fens were. My God, you had to walk through like legions of prostitutes.
Yeah. You know,
I mean, I know they have a problem here somewhat, but we don't have problems like in other places I've lived, quite to that degree. Yeah. But it's still, it's kind. It still would be shocking here for what's going on.
But you know what? They would not be prostitutes if there weren't jobs willing to pay money for them.
Well, we can talk about that off camera too.
Yeah. Well, like in Vegas, I'm in favor of legalizing.
I think it should be legalized. The clubs.
I'm very much in favor of it.
Yeah, it's much safer, and you can watch the health more closely.
I can remember, and I'll never forget it. I can remember there was this lady in the night show, I call it, right?
Yeah.
She got it. I guess she ripped some guy off. She's running down the street and jumping into a cab, bare butt and all, running down through the. And it was a.
That must have been L.A.
Oh yeah, it's actually on Central Street.
Oh jeez, I saw stuff in L.A. You see almost anything.
And this is a long time. And I'm watching, and I said, "What the hell?" And the police just let her go.
She probably knew that she's probably good friends with the judge in those days.
Yeah,
I know about Manchester 40 or 50 years ago.
The sad part is that her mom and dad were very prestigious people in the town, in Manchester. So, and I'm sure I'm not gonna. Who has a right to condemn them? I don't.
It's the oldest business in the world, Norm.
Way back in the Bible times.
And the second one is a pimp, but they became politicians. Yeah.
Way back in the time. I can remember watching one movie.
Wasn't Jezebel? No, she did something. I've never read the Bible.
Yeah. Not
just
anymore.
parts
Even
of
though
it.
I know them. When I used to belong to the born-again Christian church, and I actually studied to become a minister through this church, so I am qualified. And I can remember, but there's a movie, and I can't remember now, when that guy, he was a pimp, and he would literally beat the girls when
that's how they keep
when a coat hanger.
That's Iceberg Slim. He wrote those memoirs, which are fascinating. Yeah, the violence he had to use. And,
I keep my girls in line,
He hated women, and he had to. When he was in prison the last time in Chicago, when he had later on, he got married in his 40s and had 2 daughters, and he said, he had changed, but to kiss his daughter was very difficult for him because he had been brought up since he was like 15 or 16 in horrible, slum. And they were the crime. Yeah. But for every ethnic group that came here, after the Anglo-Saxon settlers, or whatever you call them, English that settled here, the big gangs were Irish. And then they become Italian or Jewish or whatever the ethnic group. Yeah. So,
and every group always had a mob.
Yeah.
You had the Italian mob, you had your Irish mob, you had your Chinese mob, you name them.
Italians, gangsters of the Al Capone generation, some of them had Irish names because the gangsters who they're replacing had Irish names. So that's what they adopt as their, nom de plume. Yeah. But anything...
Geraldo.
What?
Do you remember Geraldo?
Rivera?
Yeah. He used to have his own talk show.
Oh, of course.
Do you remember when he said that he was going to open the vault where...
Yeah, Al Capone's vault. That didn't work out too well. They would never do anything like that. They would pretend that they were opening it for real.
Yeah.
It's like those.
He actually got off the air very shortly after that.
It's like my friends. I have friends in the entertainment business. They'd always have that. Oh, we're on a desert island. It's only us and the cameraman. Yeah, sure. Anybody knows there has to be at least a crew of 70 because it's a union.
Yeah.
There's not 4 or 5 people and a cameraman. There's 70 people there with catering. You work 8 hours, or you go into what they call golden hours. But but people like their illusions.
That's the whole thing. People. That's like I've learned. I have to be very careful when I talk about what I say.
Yeah, Matt and I do satire, and it's like people believe what you're saying.
Matt and I were always in hot water. We really were. We talked about blow-up dolls. Right. We got a complaint about that. Even called the mayor's office and all. So I called the mayor. I said, "I'll be careful what we talk about." She said, "Thank you." And then we talked about hanging kids upside down. We had to stop that. And I had to stop talking about poking somebody in the eye or whatever. Oh, do you remember my co-host Lori?
Oh yeah, of course.
She was in a very serious car accident.
Oh, when?
She didn't tell me the date, but now we don't really communicate too much anymore.
Yeah.
I don't hang on to the past.
No, if you do, you're damned.
Once in a while I'll talk to my friend Dick down Carbon, and once in a while I'll see Matt, and I'll recommend to somebody needs a hypnosis. Send them to Matt or whatever. But I don't hang on to the past. It's like when a couple of my roommates passed away. The day they passed, I took everything out of their room. I think, but that's who I am. People have to grieve in their own way.
Yeah, of course.
I have what they call detached personality.
Never heard of that. What's that?
It's like you can care for someone as much as you possibly can.
Oh, I think I know what you mean. Yeah.
I care more for my animals than I did the people. But that's who
That's not uncommon, Norm.
No.
I asked my mother once why she liked her dog better than she liked her children. She said it, right? Boom. The dog doesn't talk back.
Nope. Well, my little horse sure. Well, my little dog did. That's good. And we have his cat now. His name is Big Boy's horse, Scott's cat. But then, during the night or during the morning, he'll come up and lay down beside me, and it talks back at me. Mary LeMay has cats. I've actually heard them talk to her.
I think cats are talk about spirit.
Yeah. Oh, that's very spiritual.
Well, I mean, I'm more of a dog person.
Yeah.
Dogs are more human-like in my can. Cats are from some other world.
Oh, we make it an enemy when Mary did.
You.
Yeah.
A dog looks at you like you're God, and a cat looks at you like I'm God.
God.
I am God.
Yeah. Well, that's like our cat. When he comes in and we wake up because he likes to go out. He's an indoor-outdoor cat.
Yeah.
And like at 3 o'clock in the morning, I have to go to the bathroom. I'll look. If he's not in the house, I'll go looking around for him outside. And he comes in 4, 5, 6 hours later. But he yells at us.
But see, there's the thing. You talk about people talk about kids are different, this and that.
Yeah.
Where are all the cats? There used to be always cats. Mm-hmm. I'd be gardening 20 years ago. I'd come visit my mother. I'd be working on the garden, and you'd look. All of a sudden, something's staring at you. Right? You look up, and there's these eyes looking at you right from behind the irises or something.
Right.
Used to be cats all over.
Good evening, Norm's Community Corner.
Is this Ward 13?
I'm sorry?
Is this Ward 13?
No, it's Norm's Community Corner, but John is here.
Oh, hey Norm.
Hi.
This is Bill Barry calling. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Bill?
Good, good.
Yeah.
You guys look great. You either look like you're taking precaution for the COVID-19, or it looks like you're going to go rob a bank.
Well, I thought about robbing the bank.
Do you have any tips?
Actually, I really, because my son has a virus 19 now, and he's always taking precautions, but I kind of took it lightly. But then when I found out he and my daughter-in-law have it, I said, you know what? I better take this seriously.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone should.
Yeah.
I was talking to your sidekick there, John Hopwood, earlier tonight, and he I said to him too, is follow the advice of Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Do your job. if everyone does their job, then we'll have less cases, hopefully.
You know what bothers me the most, Bill, is I see these kids and the parents out in the park playing when there's signs saying "Do not play in the park."
Yeah, and what do they all have in common? They're all going on the same swings and the carousels and the slides and all that stuff, and they're all putting their hands on it, no gloves or anything, and they're passing it from kid to kid, to parent to parent. I think they think that they're immune from it. Yeah.
Well, one lady told me what I could do with myself. I said, "Well, that would hurt," but she really did. She came on and she said, "This isn't the park." I said, "This whole area," because of the ground, the toys that the kids play on, the equipment and stuff. Well, she didn't think that the other part where the trailer was, it was part of the park. I said, "Man, it's all the park." And I said, "You know what? I have a son that has this disease, and I know a lot of people that have died. Don't you want to take precautions?" Well, she told me in no uncertain terms what I could do with myself.
Yeah. Well, you can only, you got to fend for yourself, and you just hope that, people, we cross your fingers and hope that they don't get it, because it is. It's a very, very tough virus, and I'll tell you, if your immune system can't fight it, you're in trouble.
I'm actually extra cautious because I found out I have diabetes.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. Diabetes, and one of the things, and it's funny because, and I said this a few times to people I know, is, and I can understand, early on, we're learning and stuff, but it always bothered me. Now it bothers me more than ever that people that are in nursing homes and the VA hospitals, places like that, when they get it, why don't they send them directly to the hospital? Why keep them in that environment where they're not equipped to take care of them like the hospitals are? God forbid. I mean, if one of my loved ones was in there, my mother, my father, who are both deceased, but if they were in there and I found out they get it, first thing I would do is get an ambulance over there and getting them out of there.
Absolutely. And the one thing I also
they're all dying in there, and we know that now. I mean, early on, I can understand. Like say, what? We really, honestly, we thought it was better and best to keep them all congregated together so that they don't spread it. But you know what? It's like a death sentence in these nursing homes.
Well, one of the biggest things I'm upset with, Bill, is, this is, by the way, first we're talking with the Automobile Dairy, my alderman from Ward 10. Okay? And one of the things I get upset with, Bill, is why can't, if you, like you just said with your mom and dad, why can't the hospital provide a cap, a mask, and gloves, and a gown so you can go see your loved one?
They didn't have any for a while.
Yeah. Because even though, I mean, the way they're saying it, you can get it. You can get it. It's a lot easier to get it than people think.
Yeah.
No matter how much protection you have, the protection is obviously good, but it's not 100%.
Oh no.
That it's going to protect you because you have a lot of openings. You guys have your mask on, but you've got your eyes. Any droplets get into your eyes, your nose, your ears, your on your hands, and then later on you rub them against your face, and that's it. It's over.
And I go to the market basket. I've been quite a while. I go to the market basket, and I go in there and just as fast as I can to get out because you got so many of them that are not taking precautions.
But to be fair, there are
even the staff.
Do you go to the one in Bedford?
No, I go to. I haven't been to the one. I go to the one here on Elm Street. How's the one in Bedford?
Oh,
nice.
Good. It's not that far from you either.
No.
I mean, you're probably right in the middle. You've got to go across the bridge, and you're right there. But it's closer to me. I mean, it's very convenient to go to the one in Bedford.
Yeah,
that's where I go
because it's less than a mile away.
Well, I'll tell you what's heartbreaking is I haven't seen my daughter-in-law to play Scrabble for 3 months.
Oh, that's not right.
But I'd rather be she'd rather be cautious, and now she has the virus.
Oh.
Well, I was telling John, this whole thing, it's affecting so many people, and not only the restaurants and the businesses and so on, but just the people. Like, for example, my daughter, she's a senior this year, and she's graduating and going off to college in the fall. and they're losing out on their graduation.
The most
losing out on
excitement,
the
yeah.
prom, and you've got all these people
The
that are
prom.
losing out, on weddings, big. I mean, these are memorable moments in their lives that are unfortunately taken away from them.
Yeah.
And you'll never get that back.
No, not at all. And, this is why I tell people, appreciate what you have today.
Absolutely.
Don't
Absolutely.
take anything for
live
granted.
Live each day to the fullest.
Right. My son has it, and now he's got pneumonia with it, but he's getting a lot better. And he and my daughter-in-law, and my granddaughter, they all did the precautions, like you just said, But where he works, this one guy came in, and he found out his girlfriend had it, but he wore no gloves, no mask, no nothing.
Right.
And to me, that's callous.
Yeah. So how's Sweeney Park looking?
Well, they put some new park benches in there.
Oh.
Yep.
They're black, and I love them. John,
we really did a good job over there.
Yeah.
To you and myself, we in the community.
Yeah.
Parks and Recreation.
They did an excellent job.
It looks good. It looks good, and the kids are able to go over there and play. On that new.
New equipment. And one guy told me they're not done yet, so that's a cool thing.
No, they're not. It's going to continue.
Yeah.
And you know what? Unfortunately, we're in slow motion right now because we're trying to, get things like, for example, I ran into a lady today, late this afternoon, and she lives on Agnes and Pinard, and she had called me during the winter months because she wanted to see if the city could put in a shelter for people that are waiting for the buses, the kids, and also the elderly residents of the complex on Agnes Street, Agnes and Pinard. And I explained to her, I said, it's coming. I said, I know for sure, because we have to get permission, because Dick Anagnos owns their property.
Yeah.
We have to get permission from him, because it's being built on his property.
Yeah.
He couldn't say yes quick enough, because he thought it was a great idea, too. So things like that we expected to get done sooner or are getting done a little bit later. So, just, we've got to have patience,
Yeah. The one thing that upset me the most of all, John, Bill, I'm sorry, is when they had to publicize about the mayor's daughter having that sickness.
I know, that wasn't right. It was, it's unfortunate, that people have to stoop to that level because, you know what, Norm, I always say is put yourself in their shoes. How would you feel if that was you?
Right.
Someone was criticizing you, taking pictures of you, and then posting it on social media, and it's just come on.
I text you, I Facebook you on that, and it's supposed to be taboo to go after families and their children, but you know what? For some people it is.
Oh, the mayor didn't reveal that on her own?
No. The newspaper did.
I've mistook
We know
that.
who did.
No, wait a minute. She did. But then what happened was she did say that her daughter had tested positive for COVID-19.
Right.
And then weeks later, when she was cleared, the mayor was out with her two daughters and her dog walking, and someone I don't know if it was a neighbor, but someone drove by, took a picture of them, and passed it along to other people to put on social media, and it was just. It's not,
Oh, so that's what stinky is, making
not even
stink
worth
about.
I was so mad. I don't care if it's Republican, Democrat, or whatever. I was so upset over that because to me, I don't have to agree with everything she's doing.
Right.
But for them to do that, that's horrible.
Yeah, but those people attack families.
Yeah.
They've been doing it ever since I got dragged in 7 years ago because they were attacking families. They like to hurt people.
Yeah, and it's so sad. I have a new title. I'm the new mayor of Walker Street.
The people's?
Oh, good,
or
good.
the spirits, man.
That spirit, the spirit.
Oh, that's
well,
good.
What I do is I walk around, I talk to everybody.
If we all look out for each other, the whole city and the whole world would be a better place,
Well, the building I live in, Bill, we're very, very fortunate. I'm sorry, automobile, because he is the automobile dairy, and and the people in that block I live in the next door, we all get along fantastically well.
It's great.
Yep.
We're all from different cultures.
And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Because if you all look out for each other, then it turns into one of the safest neighborhoods.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
And no one,
the neighborhood I live in. We same thing. You know, we look out for each other.
Yeah.
And when I first ran, I tried to get the message out there. I actually passed out. I think I had like 1,000 refrigerator magnets that I actually passed out.
oh, I got one.
To let people know that, hey, these are things to watch out for. These are things to look for in your neighborhood. If you see this, you know, make sure that you don't leave ladders hanging around. Make sure you don't leave your garage doors open.
Right.
Things like that. Small things that add up, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mow the lawn out back and out front, and we all have cookouts. And then I was telling John, here, the Honorable John here, that
Dishonorable.
I have to give the police officers on Manchester a lot of credit, a lot of compliment. They had a guy, how he ever hit the fence of my next door neighbor, I'll never know. He literally jumped over the fence after he got out of his car, and the police officer ran after him. But I have to tell you this, they showed that prisoner respect, and they were very nice to him. So I actually told the police officer, my compliments to you people.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you did that because they need to hear that, and I think it's important for them to hear it because there's so much criticism out there, and even when people take videos of police arresting someone or trying to calm them down or whatever, they don't get the whole video. They get a portion of it that they put out there on social media, and right away the people judge the police of bad behavior and so on and so forth. But then if you ever went back and you look at someone else has the full video, then you see, what really happened to make this, this police officer to defend himself and the public. That's what that's what you're there for. You're a peace officer, and you're there to protect the public and you're obviously yourself too.
Right. Well, one of the police officers said, "You actually pay us a compliment?" I go, "What?" Well, yeah. He said, "Well, that's a first." I started laughing. Well, Bill, I got to let you go because we're going off the air.
Go ahead.
And
nice talking
thanks
to
for calling. You
always,
too.
John
Bill.
Hopwood's my good friend, and let's get through this together, man.
We sure will. Number Ward 10 rocks.
That's right.
I'll see you, buddy.
Yeah. Bye bye now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye bye now. Yeah.
Bye now.
You were right.
Yep.
Well, folks, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Thank you, John Hopper. And it
Thank
was
you
not
for having
when
me.
John didn't even know he was going to come on, did you?
Yeah. Nope.
Nope. And for all those, next week we're going to have
General Baldick.
General Baldick and his dog. And everybody out there, remember, every day you are the winner. Be good to yourself and keep smiling.